Okay, let's do an episode 6 of loading 300 Blackout. I've been holding off on this, waiting on... I broke my chronograph. I've got a magneto-speed chronograph that I broke. So I've been waiting on parts to come in for it because I really want to start paying attention to velocity here because we're about to start working up some hunting loads. If you'll recall from previous videos, I bought 3 different hunting bullets, 125 grain Hornady SSTs, 110 grain Hornady VMAXs, and then the Barnes TAC TX, the black tip jobs. So a lot of this depends on what you're looking to do. These have a very good reputation for deer, so you get halfway decent penetration but acceptable expansion. Apparently a lot of people like these things for deer. The 125 grain SST I think would be a decent deer bullet if we can get it going fast enough, which we're going to find out. This might be a decent deer bullet. But this guy, the 110 grain VMAX, I'm not really sure about. The VMAX is a varmint bullet, right? So a varmint bullet is intended to rapidly expand. You know, it's all about expansion less than it's about penetration, right? You're shooting at a frickin' prairie dog about this big. Penetration is not really the concern, right? You want that freaking bullet to expand like crazy. So that's kind of, you know, so in my crazy mind, whether it's right or not, I'm not sure, but I kind of group hunting bullets in 3 different categories. You've got your varmint bullets where it's, you know, crazy rapid expansion, and all the way at the other end you've got the penetrating bullets, right? The controlled expansion, I guess you might call it. I don't know what the hell, but nozzle partition, right? It's meant to hold on to as much weight as possible, really penetrate, and or the all copper bullets, yeah, you know, the all copper bullets are kind of the same way. They expand, but they stay in one piece, maximum weight retention, maximum penetration. I kind of put the VMAX, or no, I'm sorry, the SST, which is basically a Hornady interlock with a plastic tip put on top of it instead of a soft tip. I kind of put these somewhere in the middle. Sierra Game Kings, Hornady interlocks, those are the other ones I kind of put in the middle. Right, they're okay for big game, but they're not necessarily that super penetrating type. So am I making any sense at all? What I'm getting at basically is these VMAXs. The load I'm looking to work up, I'm looking to possibly use on whitetail deer. So I think this 110 grain VMAX is probably not going to fit the bill for me. Or, you know, I'm not going to hit the woods with as much confidence as I would with one of these other 2. And unless it shoots exceptionally shitty, the TAC TX is what I'm going to be hitting the woods with. It has a really good reputation. So, you know. But I guess it all gets confusing because just like I just said, talking about the all copper projectiles. I think these are actually all copper, aren't they? Or at least they're lead free. Copper with a polymer tip. So I don't know. It's all very confusing. But okay, back to what we're going to deal with today. So this is the first time I've shot lighter bullets like this in my 300 Blackout, right? So we're going to go ahead and use these VMAXs for the initial testing because I already own them. I've got 100 of them. Might as well use them for some just initial fact-finding sort of loading. And you know, we'll see how it goes with this, and then next video we'll probably dump these and switch over to either one or both of these guys to actually start working up our hunting load. I grabbed 3 powders that I think are going to produce decent velocity. You know, so these 110 grain bullets, I'm hoping to get up to 2,400 feet per second, at least 2,300, but maybe 2,400. And the 125 grain SST back here, look, it's looking like maybe we can get this guy up to around 2,100. So, yeah, we'll do some initial loading with this guy. We'll work up a couple powders towards max and see what sort of velocities we're looking at. The Hornady book, so of course we're using Hornady bullets, so the first place to look is the Hornady book. 110 grain VMAX, we've got load data for Lil Gun and for H110 and Winchester 296. So those were good to go. We've got an overall length, 2.050. We're just going to follow this exactly. Norma 200, I have absolutely no data. I've searched around, tried to find just somebody to get me in the ballpark, and haven't had shit for luck. So what I've done is I've kind of looked around some other load data, compared to Norma to some other powders and how they compare on charge weight. And I have pulled a couple charge weights just directly out of my ass. We're going to do 18 grains, 19 grains, and 20 grains and just see what happens. I'm thinking we're actually going to be able to go up 21, 22 grains maybe, but I don't know yet. We'll try. We'll start with 18, see what that gets us, and then we'll have 19 and 20 to test with if that works. The Winchester 296, I'm going to do 19, 19 and a half, and 20 grains. Hornady shows, for Winchester 296, they show a max of 19.9. So we're going to exceed their max by 1/10 of a grain. Lil Gun, we're going to do 20, 20.5, 21, and 21.5. So that kind of gives you an idea what's going on, what the plan is for this one. We're going to load up 50 rounds. 110 grain VMAXs. Tell you, this might make for a real nice load though, maybe for home protection or just random varmint use, killing coyotes, killing groundhogs, killing whatever. But it might be okay for deer as well, but yeah. Brass, what are we up to now? This is our 4th firing as 300 Blackout with this brass. It's starting to maybe get a little dirty. I think we'll clean it after this firing. Before the next video, I think I'll go ahead and wet tumble this stuff. But for the time being, it's good enough. We're just going to go ahead and keep on shooting it and see what happens. So step 1 is going to be to resize and decap these guys. So let me get set and we'll get to that. So I'm going to use Imperial sizing wax very sparingly. So from our first couple loadings, it's really seemed like this 300 Blackout's a pretty simple resize. Not a whole lot of work going on there. Not a whole lot of pressure, but yeah. So I think that's what I'll do. Just very, very, very sparing. Coat of Imperial sizing wax and away we go. Yep, so resizing went off with no problem. And I've just moved on to priming. And it just dawned on me, I forgot to check. I doubt we'll have to trim these, but it's worth a check every time. 1.363. 1.361. 1.362. 1.366. If I remember correctly, the trim length was 1.368. Is that right? 1.360. Yeah, we trimmed to 58 and the max length was 68 maybe? Yep, exactly. So we don't need to trim these guys. Don't need to trim them. So I'll get these guys primed up and we'll be freaking ready for powder. No screwing around, no fancy stuff this time. I just want to get some ammo loaded. So I'm just getting started with powder, and I'm feeling lazy, so I'm just going straight out of the container instead of grabbing my trickler. First up, the 18 grains of Norma 200. So that's already very full case there. So I was planning to go up to 20 grains. I'm not even sure if we'll have the case capacity. We'll see. We'll give it a try. We'll see what happens. It kind of seems that way for a lot of these 300 blackout powders. The limiting factor is not pressure, it's case capacity. Which is good. Makes it safer for reloaders, right? A little bit. Alright, there's our first 5 charges. So these VMAX bullets, flat base, sexy looking little polymer tip there. Well, it looks like it's going to be really nice for 300 blackout maybe. We'll see. So what I say overall length was, yep, let's see. We're going by the Hornady book for overall length. So 110 grain VMAX cartridge overall length 2.050. Tell you what, let me write that down. Okay, 2.050. And of course without the boat tail we've been using before, and a little bit harder to get these guys started. I have no idea where the hell the seating die needs to be, so we'll just back it out a bit. So it's still on my list of shit to do to figure out what the hell is going on with that Lee seating die. Thinking maybe the next video we'll look at that a bit. Okay, maybe not. I basically just ran that all the way down and it barely made any contact. Oh, what the hell have I got going on here? I'm still getting used to these Forster dies. Looks like the kind of coarse adjustment up here is what's causing me problems. So let me loosen that up. back this out. There we go. So that's zeroed out, and now I'll adjust the course adjustment down until it touches. There we go. Starting to feel some resistance. So we'll call that good. So now as I go down, there we go. Now I'm starting to make contact. Of course, this is still about 3.5 miles long. .126. Our goal is 2.050. So we're 76 thousandths too long. So tell you what, there's about 25, there's about 50, there's about 70. We'll give that a try. 2.059. So it looks like I'm about 8 thousandths too long. Let's go ahead and seat the next one, make sure it gives the same readings. .059. So that's yeah, good. 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, fuck it. Well, let's go ahead and go down 9 thousandths. Okay, there's that guy. And that guy. 2.049. 2.049. I am A-okay with this. .050. So we are right on the money. Let me get a number with the bullet comparator. It's like 2.490. 2.490. 2.490. So let me make a note of that. Okay, so there's that guy. So we also need to, run them through the factory crimp die just for the hell of it. Just a little bit of crimp. Alright, so this is pretty much going to be our final product. Do those look funny? I guess not. See how they shoot. Let's start filling up our ammo box here. Okay, just seating these last couple bullets with some Lil Gun. No problems. Everything went off without a hitch here. Alright, yeah, looking forward to trying these, seeing how they run the gun, seeing how accurate they are. Only one way to do it. Let's get to the range. Okay, here we are. Finally made it to the range. It's a little busy here today. Some of the longer ranges are pretty full, so just come down here to our little 60-yard plinking range. Nice and empty, plenty of room. Got our 50 rounds ready to rock, and we've got our chronograph. So I was able to get the chronograph on there and adjust it okay. I think it's going to give good readings, but with the chronograph on there, the gun no longer fits in the lead sled, which had been working out so great. So as you might be able to see, I've improvised some somewhat crazy rest stuff here. So we will see how it does. So we're going to kick things off with our first load is Norma 200. Alright, so this is 18 grains of Norma 200. Yeah, and if you'll remember, the Norma 200 was the one I didn't have any load data at all for 110 grain bullets with Norma 200. So this is a bit of a wild guess, and hopefully we don't blow our face off. Okay, top left dot. Let's see what happens. Okay, the brass looks great, no problems at all, but that was only 1,500 feet per second, so which is good. Let's see if it... Next round chambered, no problem, so nice low velocities. Let's go ahead and run through them, see what happens. Okay, everything was great with that first series. So let's go ahead and bump it up to 19 grains of Norma 200. See what happens. Okay, that ran great. It bumped our velocity about 80 feet per second. We're up to 1615, but still not very fast. Let's try our hottest load of Norma 200. So this was, these charges were pretty heavily compressed. So I'm thinking this powder, there may just not be enough case capacity to get up to the sort of velocities we're looking for hunting. But we'll see. Alright, 20 grains. See what it does. Yeah, this rest is about to kill me. That's okay though. To be honest, today's as much about velocity as it is about accuracy. My hold isn't great, but that's fine. That bumped us up to an average of 1,687 feet per second. So, yeah. Probably not going to be a hunting powder for us, but at least we know we can shoot it without blowing ourselves up. Okay, next up is our first load of Winchester 296, 19 grains of Winchester 296. I think we'll see a pretty big spike in velocity. We'll see. Alright, that was 2108 feet per second. So yeah, a nice little spike in velocity. Okay, our average there was 2,046 feet per second. Brass all looks fantastic. So yeah, that was a nice little bump up. Now we're getting close to where we need to be. Okay, next up, 19.5 grains of Winchester 296. Alright, that last group was average velocity of 2,084 feet per second. So we've got one more Winchester 296 load, which is 20 grains. And that's what's next. See how it runs. Alright, that got us up to about 2,120 feet per second. Still not quite as high as we need to be, but that's okay. That's why we test, right? We got to work them up slow. See what sort of velocity we can get to with these. Brass all looks so great. I mean, these all seem to just come down to case capacity. Alright, this is our first Lil Gun load. It's going to be 20 grains. Man, this guy next to me's got to run out of ammo soon. Let's hope. Alright, Lil Gun. See what happens. Alright, ran the gun great. Average velocity 1968, so just a little under 2,000 feet per second. Man, had a standard deviation of 60. That stuff was all over the place. Well, about 100 feet per second. Now 150 feet per second extreme spread. Very weird, but that was the best group so far, which shows you how much velocity data can get confusing at times. 20.5 grains of Lil Gun. Okay, that last one was 1,942 feet per second, still under 2,000 feet per second. I expected this Lil Gun to be faster. So yeah. Well, here's the next load, 21 grains. See if they'll run. Okay, that last one averaged 1943. Velocity's not increasing. I don't really understand what's going on here. And we got Mr. fucking Double Tap over there that's driving me bonkers every time I try to talk. Dump that mag, bro. Dump that mag. Alright, so fuck it. Here's the last one. 21.5 grains of Lil Gun. And we'll see if it also shoots 1950 feet per second. Yeah, we squeezed out a little bit more. That one was 1987, so right around 2,000 feet per second. All right. Let's try to make heads or tails of what happened. Okay, before we move on and talk about the events of the video, something I wanted to figure out before we discuss things. Just how much of these different powders can we fit into one of these cases? I think it's clear that that is now an important thing. So I've got a piece of fired brass and I'm just dumping this thing down in to a yep, little bowl. This is Lil Gun. Alright, there we go. So that completely full case, just barely enough to where maybe we could sit a bullet on top without spilling shit everywhere. See how much powder we're talking about. I've already done this for Winchester 296 and Norma 200. And let's see, there's 25. Nope, not quite 25. 20, 22, okay, right at 23 grains. So if we go full-blown crazy, we could fit 23 grains. Alright, let me get resituated and we'll talk about what happened. Alright, first of all, I'm not normally a douche to other people on the range. And I didn't say anything today, but holy crap, those guys next to me. They were in full-blown fucking operator mode for 4 or 5 hours. I was sitting there, I was shooting 30-06 and 300 Blackout and all sorts of stuff. Holy moly, they went through some ammo, brother. Alright, so yeah, just kind of ended up getting on the nerves just a touch. Yeah, I'm not normally that way. Okay, so to the shooting, accuracy was okay across the board. I don't have any problems with accuracy. The rest sucked, so good enough. I'm not going to make any, I'm not going to come to any conclusions based on accuracy here, other than to say none of them were terrible. It's all about velocity. It is all about velocity, and I really didn't expect it. I mean, you know, velocity was a huge thing, but I thought these were going to be faster. Norma 200, remember that's the one we started slow because we didn't have any data. So I knew I would be a little bit short, but 20 grains was only 1,687 feet per second. And like I just showed, so the 3 powders we shot today, I went ahead and did a max case capacity, and this is seriously max. This is all the way up to the mouth of the case, just enough to maybe sit a bullet on there. So at Norma 200 I can only go to 21.5. That was 20. I don't think we're going to gain 700 or 800 feet per second with just an extra grain and a half of powder. So as far as I'm concerned, for a hunting load workup, Norma 200 is off the table. Now Winchester 296 is a heck of a lot better. 19 and a half, we're already above 2,000 feet per second, and our max load of 20 got us up to 21.25. So 20, our max case fill for 296 is 23.5. We could cram another 3.5 grains in that bitch. So that looks promising. Winchester 296 looks promising. Lil Gun. I don't know. It's to the point I'm wondering whether I made some major mistake during the reloading process and didn't realize it. Our lowest load, 20 grains, 1968. And then the next two higher charges were lower. Is that possible? Like, how's that even freaking possible? And then it jumped back up to 1987. It's possible I made a mistake. I don't know. But, so 21.5 got us to 1987. Lil Gun, our max charge is 23 grains. So we've got another grain and a half. But I don't know if a grain and a half is going to get us 600 or 700 feet per second when the grain and a half we just tested with got us 19 feet per second. 1968 to 1987. And, you know, so, and like I was saying, the getting crazy variation in velocity with Lil Gun, which also points to me, you know, did I fuck something up? It's always possible. I hope not, but Lil Gun off the table for this video, for this hunting load workup. It's not going to do what we're looking for. So we're down to Winchester 296, and things are looking promising. I'm okay with moving forward with Winchester 296. I think next video we'll pull out some other powders and try them as well. Cram them full of as much freaking powder as we can fit in there and see if they get us higher velocities. Not really, but I need to look and see which other powders I've got, see if I can track down data for 110 grain bullets, and then try and get an idea of what we can give, what we can try. So I'm glad we didn't start out with our expensive bullets, right? It looks like we've got a lot of work to do here with the cheaper 110s just to get in the ballpark, and then we can pull out our Barnes bullets. But this was enlightening. Lots of good info. A lot of disappointment, but that's okay, right? That's what it's all about. You got to get to the range, figure these things out. Here's what's confusing me though. Hornady manual, 300 blackout section, 110 grains. So it shows H110, which is the same as Winchester 296, pretty much. They've got them in here separately, and they've got different data for, I don't know. Occasionally that happens, but it's weird. So those two, it looks like, yeah, we can get up there. It shows Lil Gun hitting 2,300 feet per second at 21.4 grains. We went above that to 21.5 grains, and we were still under 2,000. So almost all of the data out there is done with 16-inch barrels. That's cool. I get it. That makes a lot of sense. Are we in a situation where this little 8.5-inch barrel just isn't going to get there? Like, our ceiling is just going to be significantly lower than a full-size gun? I don't know. We're going to find out. We're going to keep trying, but I'm encouraged by our Winchester 296 results. Most definitely. So, you know, you might wonder what the hell is the deal with all this velocity talk? Why does it matter? Just, you know, pick a powder, work up a hot load, and hit the woods. Well, so our Barnes bullets, I don't know if it's on the package here anywhere, probably not. But if you look on their website, these will expand down to around 1,300 feet per second. So let's add in some buffer and call it 1,400 feet per second. That means that sets the effective range of our gun. And we're going to be down to 1,400 feet per second faster than we'd like, I have a feeling. Especially if, you know, we're starting at 2,000 feet per second. I don't know how far we're going to get, but it won't be very far. So every little bit of additional velocity is important because it's extending the range of our gun. Now, that's one reason why these are so popular, right? They'll expand down to 1,300 feet per second. I should have pulled up the data before I turned the camera on. These 125 grain SSTs are not, they won't go quite that low. And yeah, it's not on the package, but I'll find that info. I'll have it for the next video. But I think these, it's like 1,500 feet per second, something like that. So, or no, not for the 125 grains. It's a little bit different. But well, I'll look that up. I'll have the info for the next video, and we'll talk this over a little bit more. But more to come. Thanks for watching. See you next time.